So good morning, everyone. Today's July 5th, and Susan and I are in Madison, Connecticut, on our way down to State Park, located in Madison, which is Hammonasset State Park. This portion of the video might be a little bumpy and jarry and shaky, but that's because of the roads in Madison. They're not always in the best of repair. We'll be getting on some smoother roads eventually in this part of the town as we get further south. So those of you who have been following my recent videos know that Susan is riding an e-bike now, and I just discovered that there's a term for her kind of bike, which happens to be a road bike slash e-bike. They are now called roadies. So Susan is a roadie. How about that? I'm going to talk a little bit about something I saw on BikeRadar, which is another, BikeRadar, which is another YouTube channel similar to GCN. And they were doing an overview and a review of the Giant Roadie, which is an electric or an e-bike road bike. And it comes as a complete package. Battery, motor, and all that sort of thing, bike computers. And one of the interesting things that I found about their review of the bike is that, unlike Sue's bike, where if she wants some e-bike assistance, she pushes a little button and off she goes. And as hard as and as fast as you're willing to pedal, you can get that bike up to well over 20 miles an hour. Well, not well over 20 miles an hour, let me qualify that. I've had the bike up to about 22 miles an hour with the motor assist. I'm going to stop here and let Sue catch up to me. But the Giant bike, which I'm assuming is like many road bikes, or e-bikes rather, has what is called pedal assist, okay?
Yep.
Now this is going to get smooth and it's going to get a little quicker. But you're doing all right?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Perfect.
All right. Try to stay near me as you can, okay?
Yep.
Okay, off we go again. Yeah, so e-bikes typically have a sensor that determines whether or not you are pedaling. And if you are pedaling, then it kicks in with a certain power level that you pre-select. So as an example, if you have it on a high setting and you start pedaling, you're going to get a lot of power to push you forward very quickly. And I think the max power output on those bikes is 250 watt. But those e-bikes have the motor connected directly to the crank. So I'm sure the gearing gives you some sort of advantage with the power there. But anyway, what I was saying is that when Sue wants more power, she just pushes the button. And when she doesn't want power, she just lets go of the button. So what I'm getting at is the BikeRadar review. One of the aspects that they talked about is that the bike cannot go more than 15 miles per hour in Europe. So if you're pedaling along with power assist and you've got the bike set to maximum power and you're an everyday road biker and you decide you want to push it to 17, 18 miles an hour, well, that's going to be all you. It's going to be all your power to do that. And the problem now becomes you've got to pull or push or pedal a 42-pound bike. This is a beautiful piece of road here, so I'm going to just let you guys enjoy it before I talk some more. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful road. I think I probably lost Susan back there a little bit. She's not quite as fast as I am, but she'll catch up. So getting back to the giant roadie, yeah, so if you're pedaling along 15 miles an hour, you decide you want to go a little bit faster, it's going to be all on you. You get no power assist. So the commentator who was explaining his experience and review of the bike seemed to indicate that there was a lot of yo-yo experience to riding the bike, and that is to say that, as an example, I'm on a slight upgrade right now, just doing around 16 miles an hour. If I had an e-bike or a roadie, that sucker would be pushing me right now. But if I pushed a little bit harder to breach the 15 mile an hour limit, I would lose the motor and I'd be stuck trying to pull a 42 pound up this slight upgrade. So I can see where that might be something of a deterrent from people who are currently on a road bike thinking about a roadie, whether or not you want to deal with that sort of power surge and power dropout, if you will. But Sue's bike does not have that at all. And the other thing that I will mention is, while the roadie seems like a very smart approach for those who aren't up to the fitness level of most people who are on a road bike and they want to get into road biking, it's a good solution. But I tell you, for $4,000, which is what I think that thing cost, you can easily buy a very nice aluminum bike at a price point of about $600 or $700. As an example, Susan's Specialized Dolce, go out and spend another $750 for the e-bike conversion kit that I put on her bike, and you're still well under $2,000. In fact, you're probably closer to around $1,500 for a roadie that does everything and probably more than a roadie that's all packaged and ready to go. So anyway, just wanted to bring up that issue and that topic this morning, in as much as Sue is a roadie. A little tree work going on here. But one of the really encouraging things about the popularity of e-bikes, road bikes with e-bike motors and things like that, is that there's so many people who have thought about and maybe even experimented with commuting to work by bike, finding out that, first of all, yeah, you know, it can get sweaty and hot on a bike, and if you've got no facilities at work to change into a nice dry set of clothing, or even take a shower, which would be ideal, you back away from the idea of taking a bike to work. With an e-bike, you get all that power assist. It really makes the ride a hell of a lot easier and, you know, a lot more enjoyable. And as I mentioned on Sue's bike, or Susan's bike, the kit that I bought for her, when you have roads like this and let's say a good 50% of your time is just you pedaling the bike, and by the way, it's a 10-pound lighter bike than an e-bike or a roadie, you get pretty damn good battery life. The couple tests that we've done so far, kind of confirms the fact that Susan's got no problem doing 30, 35 miles without any trouble, without ever even come close to running out her battery. And my guess is that she can easily get 40 miles out of the bike before the battery might run down to a point where it doesn't become effective anymore. In other words, she just runs out of power in the motor. But even so, it's still not that heavy a bike, and it's still a bike that can be pedaled as you normally would to get you where you want to go. But the encouraging thing about e-bikes and roadies is that the more people who start to embrace the technology and start to take advantage of it, probably does lead to there being less cars on the road, less pollution, less traffic. Nothing but benefits, that's for sure. Plus the fact you are getting exercise on a bike like that. Win, win, win all the way around. I'm going to stop here and take a drink and assess where we're going next. How was that?
Perfect.
Yeah?
I let you get away from me down that hill a little bit.
I know. It's extra fast.
Yeah.
I felt myself really going, but I said, oh, the hell, you'll catch me.
Yeah. I wasn't comfortable just because I've not been down that hill before. But nice ride. I don't like the potholes and part of it, though.
I know. Well,
but the rest of it's like...
Yeah. This is going to be a little bumpy here, too. It's not quite as bad. But that stretch of road is beautiful. Yeah, you're right. The first time I came down that sweeping downhill run, yeah, I got off the pedals and braked a little bit. Thought, uh-oh, don't go out of control here.
I know, I kind of went, okay, I'm going to slow down.